terms of what it means. One of the ideas behind this was a kind of an understanding that I got from observing people, both in the small town in which I grew up, that is in a place called Surendranagar in Saurashtra in Gujarat, and later on in Baroda and traveling around the world, that the idea that people belong to a singular belief system, that they call themselves by the whatever name of that belief system, whether you call them Hindus, Muslims, Christians, etc., etc., literally considered in many a form the sense of the sacred. I may repeat that, the sense of the sacred in other belief systems as equally sacred. So there was a room within a singular belief system for a belief system which was outside it. And sometimes there were several belief systems that existed alongside. Whether you call one the dominant and the other marginal, it's up to you. But the question of belief doesn't dilute the sense of the sacred. If, for instance, in a Muharram, in a Taziyah, the Hindu family would bring their children and make them go underneath, the belief is not half-hearted. It's a total belief. It's complete belief in this whatever sacredness there existed. Similarly, with all other belief systems that you accommodate, you incorporate, wherever it existed, in whichever form that it came to you, and it doesn't upset you, it doesn't disturb you. In other words, what I understood was that people, because of their belief in it, or because of the sense of the sacred, obtained it from wherever it came. That means it is never singular, it is multiple. And you always look for it. I came across several models, but one of the models which interested me was a box which is made by Rajasthani craftspeople. It's a box made of common wood which is very light physically in terms of weight. And this has got multiple doors opening into all directions. And it's so light that you can literally hold it in your hand. The performers wear it on their body, they carry it, and then they open doors like that. Metaphorically even opening their own body, but opening the doors, turning it round and sing stories. Stories of the gods, the goddesses, Mother Goddess, or various pantheons. But basically in this case, it was what you call roughly the belief system of quote unquote the Hindu community. I got quite excited by the idea. It is something which opens in all directions, something which is small, But I thought that instead of public, it can also be personal. We know that there is a tradition of having a personal shrine at home. People have their own personal shrine. Among the Vaishnavas, the followers of Hiranraj would have a little temple and with an image. And if you go to their place, the family might tell you that is the shrine of Hiranraj, which belongs to my mother. Which means there is an individual for whom there is a shrine. And then one performs all rituals. This also interested me. I said, it's an interesting idea, to explore. So make a small shrine, which can be opened and closed by them. Now what is interesting about this thing which is called cover or a personal shrine is that it has doors which fold in multiple directions. They don't fold in a usual manner. I don't know, you might have noticed it. No, one has to be folded like that, another has to be folded like that. But you know the configuration. So, if you do, you know where to fold, how to fold, and make combinations. Suppose if that shrine has 24 images, you have 24 images to see. But out of which number 5 and number 19 might come together. There is a possibility of that kind of a combinations and permutations, which you could personally make for whatever reason. Maybe you want to do that. But even if you don't want to do that, you just shuffle it around and you still have combination, because you see it from the left, from the right, from the front, from the back, wherever you see. And then there is inside a little shrine, that means there is a sanctum. So everything would lead you to that sanctum. All other images which open and close. So I designed 4 such shrines. There are journeys which are legendary. I mean, you know about people who have made journeys. I was fascinated by the journey. There is a story of a lover. I think in India, in northern India, it is very popular. It is called Story of Laila Majnu. It comes from Persian Road. It is from Nizami's work, where there is a story. They are the archetypal lovers, Laila and Majnu, and I suppose you might have even known about the films made on that by our film industry. What is interesting about Laila and Majnu is that they were so passionately in love with each other, but they could not unite because of the rival communities they belong. It is a bit like Romeo and Juliet, that they had their enemies. Now, in the Majnu story, if you read Nizami is a great Persian poet who has written a kind of a long poem on, there are 5 poems which are called Hamsa. One of them is on Laila Majnu. He goes on looking for Laila everywhere. And if you extend that journey, he ends up, although he was somewhere in, where was he, in Iraq or where, ends up in Kaaba, that means in Makkah. And he knocks at the door of Kaaba. And all the mullahs and all the others are wonderstruck. They look at this madman. He has come to look for his lover here at the gate of God. But he was actually looking for his love. The madness that he put on Majnu. But the true madness, what they call Ishq Hakiki, is the madness when it comes upon you and you are totally immersed. Then you can go anywhere looking for your Laila, including Makkah, and knock at the gate of Kaaba. Do these stories have any meaning? Do these stories matter? I thought that many stories are told and retold. I think ours is a society in which we live in multiple times and multiple cultures, and all the time we traverse from here to there. And if a story comes from some source, we are all ears. And there are many stories which are thousands of years old. Stories of the Panchatantra, stories of Katha Charit Sagar are still in circulation. And there are stories which come from Arabian Nights, and I suppose even if this Laila Majnun story came, that also may be circulating around. So it was an attempt to bring in this kind of a story around the idea of journeys. So that was the first one.